Surprisingly.
Any prayer requests?
Getting sunny parade.
Yeah.
Started?
I like the sun, man. I can't stand when it's cloudy or dark. It's depressing. Sunny days are the best days.
Any prayer requests or?
Yep. Praise Jesus that we're all here today. We're breathing.
Well, there you go.
You know what I was telling my guys? I'm like, I'm not 6 feet under, just yet. I ain't 6 feet under yet, so how's college going for you?
Going good.
Hey, any prayer requests?
Yeah, my coworker's grandma has been in the hospital for a while, so just pray she gets through everything.
You say grandma?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had a brain fart.
It's okay. Let's start because it's 11 o'clock. And we got a lot of stuff to.
And sorry about Dad. Where's Dave?
He was here.
Yeah, I saw him upstairs, so. In the.
What do you want to pray?
Dear Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the things that you're providing us, Lord. Help us learn from the message that you're bringing forth with us today, and help it apply it to our lives, and help us be safe during this week while we're working. And bless the sweet Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Yeah, I guess the pastor was late today.
Yeah, he did.
All right.
While you're opening your Bible. Okay, on March 8th, is it okay with everyone if we get pizza and bring it here after church? And then we'll play some games? Because then they're having a cancer care thing that they're inviting everybody to later. And so I said that way we wouldn't interfere with it. So everybody could come, eat pizza, we can play some games. Then if you need to leave, you can, or if you want to stay, you can. Does that sound all right this time?
So we're not going to go to your house.
We're not gonna go to our house because by the time we go there and then get back, it wouldn't give us very much time. So we figured we can just order pizza ahead of time.
Where are we going to?
I'll talk to the church. We can either do it, up here and bring in a couple tables. There's some rooms that have tables, or we can probably do it downstairs maybe if they're not setting up, so. We'll find a place.
All right.
I saw Austin. I thought he was coming.
I got it, Dennis.
I'm gonna get it too, 'cause they like it better online. You can do it since you like to.
Well, it'll be double submitted just in case they don't get it there. They'll actually have this.
All right, so if you have your Bibles handy, we're going to be jumping around a little bit. So if you have phones or a Bible.
My phone just got destroyed at work.
And you forgot.
Do you need a Bible? We have a whole bunch
Oh,
of
I
them.
got
We can
one.
bring
I
you one.
was in a hurry.
He left his Bible at the house. I've got like a whole bunch.
one here, don't
There might be one.
There may be one.
Yeah, there's one right here.
Yeah, maybe two.
Are there two of them?
Yeah, there's two brown ones.
Okay,
Appreciate
that's
you.
cool.
These,
Lost in one too.
yeah, these will.
Yeah.
If it's a hymnal, he can sing.
Does anybody need an extra Bible? Aiden's got one, man.
So they go.
No, I got
Okay,
mine.
we better get started. We're behind over here. So we're gonna start out with, we went through a lot of different things last week, and there may be 2 or 3 pages at the end that we'll catch up to too. So we're gonna talk about, we're gonna first start out with stop, how to confront and clarify and celebrate and cultivate. And this says that acknowledge the grace and goodness happening all around us. Even if it is not from Christians, trust God to use his image bearers for his good purpose. Even if it doesn't recognize him, we should become known by what we are for. So I thought a couple of these verses would be pretty good, and we'll go into them. Galatians 6:1, we'll start there. And if you have your Bibles,
It should be the
so somebody start by reading that, Galatians 6:1. Anybody?
I'll read it. Brothers and sisters, if someone is caught in a sin, you who live by the Spirit should restore that person gently. But watch yourselves, or you also may be tempted.
Okay. So, what do you think that means, caught up in a sin? You're caught up.
Means you're around someone who says that they're right, getting caught up with your phone, their rap, their game, but you just, or you can be around them and just choose not to do the things that they're doing, and you go, no, hey man, I'd rather not, that's not okay.
Okay.
So as God could use you to help them, Satan could use them to tempt you.
So we're gonna run into a lot of people that are caught up with a lot of stuff, right? And when we're navigating through life, there's gonna be some injustices, right? There's gonna be things that come our way that are probably, where the enemy's gonna know he's gonna know how to get us, right? Like, he knows what to do to upset us, right? From some human, right? He'll set us up, right? And so, and maybe they may not know what they're doing, right? But it's like a trap, right? So how does it say that we're supposed to approach someone? When people do us wrong, or people may say something, or act a certain kind of way, because you're gonna run into a lot of people out there. What does it say in this verse of how to deal with people?
Restore them gently.
Okay? What does restore mean? What do you think about when you think about restoring? What does that mean? I come up to you, Christian, and I roll off on you, right? What is going on with me? Whatever it is, right? Hurt people, right? So if somebody's hurt, they're gonna hurt you, right? It has nothing to do with you, because you really don't know what's behind all that stuff, right? So all this stuff is coming at somebody, and it's bleeding onto you, right? From someone else, right? So it's not personal, right? People hurt other people. So how do you restore? Somebody's caught up in all kinds of stuff. It has nothing to do with you, right? Because you're not responsible for other humans, right? You're only responsible for your own relationship with Jesus. But then you got all these people that are caught up in stuff, right? Whatever it is. And then it'll bleed onto you. Okay? Restore. You're living the right way. You got a right relationship with Jesus. What do you think about when it says restore?
Helping bring them back to the way they were, the relationship they had.
You ever see an old car that is beaten down? Me and my old man, we had these old cars, and so you get out there and you sand them down, and you try to bring them back to life, right? You have to work really hard to restore these cars, right? So you sand them. Sometimes in the old days, they didn't have a lot of the technology. You put these things in, you pull out the dents, right? And then you have to bondo it, and put a lot of primer, and you have to do a lot of sanding, you have to restore. But then after this, after you've done so much work, and then you paint it, and it becomes beautiful, right? So there's people that need to be restored, but then what does it say after that, in that verse?
But watch yourself, or you also may be tempted.
Restore, what does it say after restore?
Gently.
Restore him. I might have a different translation. What does it say in there?
Says such a person with a gentle spirit, watching out for himself, and then it's the tempted thing.
Gentle, right? Somebody comes off on you, right? Let's say you're not having a good day too, right? Man, you've had a rough day, right? And somebody's coming off on you, right? How do you act with that? How do you respond to that? How could you be gentle to somebody that's aggressive or somebody that's edgy or knows where to hit you? How do you do that? How do you come off gently? What do you do?
You could ask them what's wrong. You try to see what's causing them to be so angry, instead of immediately trying to defend yourself. You just try to get to the root of their problem, seeing how they are, what's causing them to be, have that day, why are they.
One of the things that happens when people drift is they may decide that there's no way out of the situation. And if that's the case, then someone who is restoring them gives them that hope. It can't be just, it's work, I think, is what happens is you've got to work at it, and it's gotta be done gently because they have given up. And the only way they get new hope is to see someone provide that assurance to them that I can get out of this. And sometimes it helps someone who's gone through the same experiences that they have and has come out of that. But it's a work of love, basically, because they've given up hope. They've reached the point where they themselves no longer have the power to get out of the situation they're in. And they need help.
Yeah, so, that sometimes you just keep your mouth shut, sometimes you walk away, you engage later, sometimes you pray for them. There's all kinds of different things that we're gonna have to do to show the light of Jesus, right? So we gotta be prepared for that, right? So that we can show the light to other people, to love them. And the Lord puts people in our lives that are hard to love, because we're not always easy to love, right? So, but we have to keep on working at it. We gotta keep on restoring, like that car, you have to keep on working on it, and it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, right? But those are the people that need the light of Jesus most. They need love most, and God could really make a difference with you, to them, in your community. Not the ones that get along with you, that's easier, right? People that are cool, man, it's easy, right? But those people are the hardest to get along with. Those are the ones that God wants to shine the brightest for you in their lives. And that's why he brought them to you. The ones that are the most difficult. Those are the ones that need it the most, right? So you gotta restore, and you gotta gently do it. Because if somebody gets in your face and they scream, and man, that's hard, right? Especially when you don't like to take it, man, right? When you're like, man. But a gentle answer will turn away wrath, If you fight fire with fire, you lose. You can't overcome evil with evil. You gotta overcome it with light, right? So in your communities, you're gonna run into all kinds of different things that you need to restore people. You need to work on your relationships. Gently. Because if you don't, what does it say? You're gonna get caught up in the same thing that they're getting caught up with, right? Don't look at the speck in your brother's eye when you got a log in front of your eye, right? We gotta be difference makers. Okay, so that's that. Now let's go to, we're gonna jump to Colossians 4. Colossians 4. And when you get there, somebody read verses 5 and 6.
I got it. Be wise in the way you act towards outsiders, making, make the most of every opportunity. Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone.
Okay. So how could we be wise in the way we act?
Well, mainly if we allow God to tell us, not tell us, that's kind of a weird way of saying that. Allow God to guide us on what He wants to say. Let Him, through the Holy Spirit, guide us to what we say and do. Because I remember when I was in the military, there was things I wanted to say because of the human body and the human nature wants to say something that is not what God wanted to say. Because, I would have a soldier come up trying to give me a smart aleck attitude, and with me being a Texan, I like to retaliate. And I'll be like, turn around, do an about face and walk off. That's what I'd have to tell myself, because I'm like, look, I'm going to say something I'm not supposed to say, and that ain't going to be representing who I am through Christ. So a lot of times I would just turn around and walk off, because I'm like, I know I'm going to say something that I'm going to get in trouble for. I'm going to get written up for it. So, but that's just an example, but, still, it's a good one.
What do you all think? How do you be wise?
Wise. Listen. Shut your mouth and listen to what someone else has to say, which is hard for us to do. Especially if you're a talker and you like to steal the show.
Mm-hmm.
You can't understand anybody if you won't listen to them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
If you're too busy all caught up with yourself,
Or you're not willing
right?
to
And it's
listen.
all about me and what's going on with me and stuff like that, right?
And you're not willing to open your ears and actually listen to what they're saying to you.
How
Or
do you get to know somebody, right? How are you gonna get to know somebody if you don't listen to them, right? To be real, right? Not just talk that doesn't mean anything, right? There's a lot of people talking, they're not saying anything, right? A lot of talk, right? But really talk. What's going on with you, man, right? What's happening, right? To get real with people, right? Then people wanna talk about themselves, right? That's the opportunity. You go into your communities and you run into people and you get to really care about them as a human, right? That you're interested, not in the small stuff, but what's going on in their life, right? And that opens up an opportunity, right? To talk to them. But being wise too, I don't wanna get off track, how do we become wise in the way that we act towards outsiders? How do we do that? Because people are looking at us. We get out of church, right? They may be at the auto parts store, right? I got my outfit on, right? I'm at the store, right? I got a Bible I'm carrying, or I'm talking, or whatever. People are looking, right? They're making every excuse not to want to follow God or have anything to do with church or anything to do with being a Christian, because I might be the one that may get in the way from them wanting to know Jesus by something that I did. Or I might be the reason why they want to know Jesus because something that I did. Right? We have impact and power behind who we are and what we're doing and what we're saying, right? I could walk out there and I could change somebody's life by smiling at them, right? By being good to them. Or I can walk into a situation and completely tear somebody up and destroy how they feel. And we gotta be wise. How do we become wise to outsiders? What do we do? When we step out there and we leave our homes, what can we do, man? Because we're going out into the mission field. We're going out into the battlefield. We're going out to people that are all out there that are dead, that don't know Jesus. And we have Jesus. We have life living inside of us. That they could know Jesus because of who we are. What can we do to prepare us for that? We all have lives and places that we go.
Pray before we go, ask for guidance, wisdom, patience. 'Cause there's times I'm working and I don't, if I go to a gas station or something, or we're stopping to go to our next job or something, sometimes I don't wanna talk. Someone's, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, I really don't wanna talk right now, but I'm gonna say, oh, it's going good, how are you? You gotta kinda play nice with them, even though you're not feeling well. And that's, God gives you the strength to do that. I mean, at least for me, He gives me the strength, even though I'm not wanting to talk, I've still got to, and there's times I can be really unpleasant to be around, and
He looks this way.
just with patience.
Oh, Christian.
I feel like just with patience, we need more, when we go out places, we need to ask God for patience.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, being real, right? My son's got a heart for people. He has a heart for people, and he loves people, and he's real. You know what I mean? I mean, he's not somebody that's fake, right? And, I mean, that's how we build relationships, is getting to know what's behind all this stuff, right? Somebody comes up to you and they're not feeling well, or they're coming off in a certain way, instead of retaliating, but saying, hey, is everything okay? Right? Are you all right? What's going on? Instead of automatically getting upset with them, right? Because you don't know what's behind that, right? Maybe somebody died, right? That was real close to him, right? You don't know, right? What if somebody's going through a divorce, right? What if somebody had their car totaled, right? We don't know what's behind these things of people because we don't talk, right? We don't find out what's going on. And so while we're going through our lives and while we're going through things, is when you have relationships and you get to know people and you care about people, then they're gonna open up and tell you these things that are going on with their lives. And then you can make a difference, right? Because you care about them, right? If somebody cares about me, I wanna tell them what's going on, right? If somebody's not cool to me, I'm just gonna probably run away and I'm not gonna engage with them, right? Because they hurt me, right? They made me feel bad, so I'm gonna run, right? I'm not gonna wanna engage because they hurt me, right? They did something to hurt me, right? But if they make me feel good, I'm gonna wanna engage, right? So we have to be careful how we act towards outsiders.
I think one of the things Paul is trying to tell us here too is that the term walk means that we walk with people every day in this life. And when we're walking with them, that means he's warning us, don't walk the same way as they do. Walk with wisdom along with them. In other words, we're in situations where we may be with someone and they're about to do something that our faith says we don't want to do. And so that wisdom now has to come out in a manner in which we don't push them away, but we also don't affirm that the activity that we're about to get in together is not gonna happen for our side. And just maybe, just maybe, they'll take a look at our characters and our adherence to our principles and say, okay, I don't feel like doing that anymore either. And they see a step in us, people respect that. They may not like, but they respect that faith and that adherence to principle.
So that's making every opportunity that we have with people. These are divine appointments, right? We pray, Jesus, give me these divine appointments, these people that pass through my life, right? These people are not just being around you and passing through your life. They're sent in your life by God, right? And they're opportunities, right? Where you can tell them about Jesus, or you can make a difference in caring about what's going on in their lives, you know, or what's happening, you know, to make every opportunity with every person, right, that comes your way. You know, you might be the smile that somebody was waiting for because their life is crushed, right? And they're down, and you look at them and you smile and you give them hope, right? Or you open the door for somebody, right? Or do something that's good for someone else that can just completely turn it around, man, right? That one thing turned it around, right? You know, there's people killing themselves right now, committing suicide. And you may walk by them, and you may never even see them again. That might be the one time that you see them, and they're gone. And that's happened in my life. I have these moments, and I never see somebody again. I have these moments. And, you know, there's times where somebody holded on, they held my hand, and I'm freaking out. Why is this guy holding my hand? Holding on for life, right? Never seeing that person again. The person died, right? We have moments to take every opportunity because we might not see that person again. And we may say something or do something that helped them on their way out, you know? And so when it comes down, it says right here to let your conversation talking, full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. Full of grace. What does that mean? That my conversation should be full of grace. What does that look like? What is full of grace?
That's true. Understanding, having a good conversation with people, and you know, pretty much what we've gone over is listening, talking. Also, don't let there's people out there that try to get over on you too, though, and you've got to watch that. I mean, be nice to them, but you know, keep a distance as well. Talk to them, be nice, but there's people out there that just want to get over them. And you gotta look at it in like with Christ's way, like, okay, you know, be graceful, be nice, talk to them, and be respectful, but don't put yourself in a position where they're just trying to, mess with you too, yeah.
So how does Jesus have grace for us? It says full of grace, right? When you think about Jesus' grace towards us, what do you think about? The grace of Jesus. Does that mean anything to you? What is that about? Is it just words? Grace? What do you think about?
Think about patience. The grace is given, but the patience is for waiting on people to accept the grace. Tremendous patience, because we're hard-headed.
Jesus never stops forgiving us, right? Do we do that to other people? Or do we just shut him down? Oh, he hurt my feelings. He said the wrong thing. He said the wrong word to me. I'm gonna shut him out, shut him down. Does Jesus do that?
No.
Or does he keep on loving us? Does he keep on forgiving us? Right?
We know people that are in their seventies and eighties, that events happened when they were teenagers, that they're still holding grudges and avoiding relationships because of those grudges. It's incredible what lengths people go to hold grudges.
When we understand the love that Jesus has for us and how much he forgives us and what he's done, when we get that, that'll be displayed on the way that we treat others. How we don't give up on them, how we keep on loving, how we keep on forgiving, how we go that extra mile over and over and over. Because we don't deserve love, we don't deserve nothing. But Jesus laid it down, right? Are we doing that for the community around us and the people around us? Are we just saying, you know what? They're not worth my time, they're not worth my energy, I don't wanna have nothing, I'm gonna shut everybody out, right? Now, I can't be responsible for everybody else. But what am I doing, right? What am I doing? Right? We gotta look in the mirror, what am I doing? Am I being the way that Jesus is being towards me? Right? Seasoned with salt, what does that mean? Right? Full of grace, seasoned with salt. What does that mean with you? Because they want us to be full of grace towards people, but then it says seasoned with salt. What does that mean?
You eat just one, did you?
Who can?
Yeah, and why? Why is that? Because, you know, once that salt, taste of salt hits us, it's tough just to stop it. You have to use a lot of willpower.
Because it says after that, so you may know how to answer with it to everyone. So we're the salt of the earth. When we're right with Jesus Christ, we're seasoned with him, right? We're seasoned with him. We're the salt of the earth. And we know how to be filled with him, that it overflows out into the world. And then people understand that, hey, there's something different about Dan, right? There's something different about him. Why is he so nice to me when I treat him horribly? Why does he care about me when I'm not nice to him? Why does he stick around and always be there for me when I treat him bad? What is the difference with Dan? And then all of a sudden I'm wondering, man, I just keep on being mean and I keep on shutting people out and everything else, and Dan just keeps on loving me. And then and then all of a sudden he's seasoned with salt, right? And I'm asking, Dan, why do you treat me like that? Why are you so good to me when I ain't good to you? What is it about you that you're good to me when I don't treat you well? And boom, right? All of a sudden, that opens it up, right? Dan can say, you know what, it ain't me, man. It has nothing to do with me. But let me tell you who it is about. The only reason I have anything good coming out of me is because of the one that's died for me, Jesus, right? Boom, all of a sudden, wow, man. Jesus has made a difference in his life, right? Where all of a sudden, God's brought somebody into your life, back into your life again that hasn't been there for a while. And from the way that you used to be, right? Mean arrogant or angry or frustrating, right? All of a sudden, you're different, right? There's something that's different about you. You're not coming across the way that you were before. Could you tell me why you're nicer to me than you were before, right? What is going on in your life, right? Because Hayden, you're not like the way that you've been. Could you tell me what has changed in your life? Boom, right? Man, you know what? It's only because of Jesus Christ that there's anything good in me. That is a change in my life. That's seasoned with salt, man. That way you could answer everyone. Because no longer is all this evil and anger and frustration coming out of you from other people. When people are not cool, all of a sudden, you're full of grace. You're loving people. You're being good to people. You're forgiving people, man. And all of a sudden, there's something different about that dude, right? I want what he's got, right? I mean, it's not what you're talking, right? It's what you're doing, right? All of a sudden, I want what Hayden's got, man, right? Because there's something different about Hayden. He's good to me. You know? I want that. And it's only because of Jesus, all right? So let's move on to Isaiah 1:16 through 17. And so this is going to be create and catalyze our vision and future should infect and engage work relationship. God wants us to be bold in our vision. Anyway, let's go to Isaiah. Any of you are not too familiar with the Old Testament? It's really good. It has a lot of good things in it. I should spend more time myself in there. I can't even find
It's
Isaiah. 'cause
after
I don't
Psalms
go
and, it's after Psalms and Proverbs.
Yeah, I don't go to Isaiah that much, but there's a lot of good things and a lot of prophecies.
Isaiah what?
Isaiah 1:16 through 17,
Okay.
and my mind's just scattered right now.
Don't feel so bad.
Somebody read that for us.
Wash and make yourselves clean. Take your evil deeds out of my sight. Stop doing wrong. Learn to do right. Seek justice. Encourage the oppressed. Defend the cause of the fatherless. Plead the case of the widow.
Okay. So, how are you able to take evil deeds out of your sight and out of your life? I mean, what do you do? Evil's all around you, man. Right? There's demonic powers all around you. There's demons, there's fallen angels, right? We're dealing with forces of the spirit of the air, which are from Satan, right? And they control everything around us, right? They control what's going on through the frequencies of media, social media, TV, right? Because he's the prince of the power of the air, right? The devil's not downstairs in hell. He's in the skies. He's all around us. His fallen angels are spiritual warfare all around us that we can't see. Right? And be deceived. Right? All you have to do is go on social media. Right? All you have to do is look at TV, right? You can look at Facebook, Instagram. You can look at movies, media, social media, right? You got like different sites of UFOs and all that other things, and it's a deception, right? From Satan, fallen angels, demons. They're trying to trick you into thinking that things are going on that they're not. So he controls a lot of the things that are going on around us in the world, because this is his domain, right? Even though God's in charge of everything, he still hasn't been cast into the lake of fire. So how do you get rid of these evil deeds from your life? What do you do, man? Because you're around it. You're around it at school. You're around it everywhere you go. right? There might be a fashion thing, everybody's doing this fashion thing, so you're sucked into the fashion, right? People are taking you in all these different directions, who do I follow, where do I go, right? It may be getting ink on, nothing wrong with that, my son's got a cross on him, but, you know, you could be wrapped up in that, right? You could be wrapped up in all I'm not saying good or bad, but there's all kinds of trends, right? Who do I follow? Where do I go? Where's my identity? How do you get rid of this evil? What do you do?
Be yourself and trust God.
Now, don't give me the Sunday school answer, okay? I mean, how do you get rid of evil in your life? It's all around you. What are you gonna do?
You stop, I see this a lot, and I don't understand why people do it. People try to be like other people and try to have that, conformance, like be yourself. You know what you, I mean, you're a Christian, you know what's right, you know what's wrong, and, with sin, I mean, try to turn away from evil. Not gonna say it's always gonna happen, because a lot of us, we sin daily, not even knowing we're sinning. And just try to turn away and depart from sin, say your word, and take everything on it.
Okay, so, it's not just about the talk, right?
Action.
So you could talk that, oh, I'm gonna stay away from evil, and you're doing everything that the world's doing. Are you really staying away from evil? No. I mean, if you're doing something that's gonna kill you, are you staying away from evil? I mean, if you say, okay, all these things, right, but then you're taking, let's say you're doing tobacco, right, that would kill you. Are you really staying away from evil?
That's it.
Right? I mean, how do you get rid of these things, right, that are destroying you, that have a stronghold on you? What do you
Nicotine's
do?
the most powerful drug out there, and there's a lot of people that do it, and it's hard to quit. It's the most hardest drug to quit out of anything out there.
Yep.
And you get withdrawals, and the withdrawals suck.
Oh, trust me,
But that's, with stuff, if you wanna quit doing evil things, you gotta really wanna quit it and ask God. Because you can say, oh, I'm gonna quit dipping, I'm gonna quit doing this, when you really don't want to, God's not gonna help you do it because you don't want to.
What's gonna give you the desire to get evil out of your life?
God, and asking God. What do you really gotta wanna do?
Because you're gonna have it around your life. You're gonna have evil all around you. Right? The closer you get to Jesus, the closer you get to that life, the light, the more you won't desire those things that are not good. Because then you know that He's the only one that satisfies, that He's enough. You can be filled with Him. You don't need no human love. It's good to have, but you don't. When you're filled with Jesus Christ and His love, you got it all. You're filled. And the more that you draw close to that light, and the more that you desire Him, the more that other stuff is not gonna, you're not gonna want that stuff, man. You're not gonna need that. Right? It's gonna take a hold of you. Satan's always, the devil and his demons and the fallen angels, and all, they're gonna have something on you. They're gonna know where to hit you to try to pull you away. To be completely filled with Him. They're gonna say, hey, here you go, look at this. Come get this. And so it's gonna be a battle, right? Oh man, I can't do this, I can't. Well, yeah, you can. Because you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you, right? All. What is not included in all? Right? Is there anything not included in all? Right? So the closer you get to that, and the closer you feel it, the more that you're not going to desire those things. You're not going to have to say, I don't want it. You know? Because you're going to be so filled with who He is and what He wants for you that you're going to desire to want good. Because you've tasted it. right? You tasted how good Jesus is, and you're gonna want more and more and more of all the good stuff. Go ahead.
In some instances, an accountability or a prayer buddy or someone, or just a friend, really, is the best thing, because it's true that the more you back away from something you're doing, it gets a little bit easier, but not with everything. It depends on what it is and the situations. And also that you know, you pray about it, but you have somebody there to support you and to keep you on the straight and narrow, or to ask for support, or say, pray for me, or go out and have a cup of coffee with me, you know, because Satan does test you when you're trying to drop things too, or you're trying to change things. So having someone that you can rely on and trust to help you is a really good thing too.
Yeah, man, I would actually you know, on that, you know, we were in the military, we were in Korea, so there's rules and regulations that we had to follow, because we were in a foreign nation, they were our host nation. And, you know, me and my friend of mine, he and I have been friends since Fort Lee, Virginia. But to this day, I kid you not, I still hold him accountable. He holds me accountable. Because in Korea, technically, we only had a few weekends where we actually had what we call accountability buddies, where there's 2 or 3 of you in a group. You don't have to go out together, as long as you're keeping accountable for your battle buddies' faults. But you know, I always made sure where he was going, what time when he was back, on what the heck he was doing, so that if an NCO couldn't get a hold of him, they could get a hold of me and be like, "Hey, Hart, where's so and so?" And I'm like, "He's here, doing this, and he's gonna be back at this time."
Right.
It's because I knew what he was doing.
Yeah, and what you do is you don't put yourself around it, right? If I wanna quit something, I need to get away from it, right? If I know it's not good for me and it's gonna burn me, I gotta stay away from it, right? And then, if you give something up, God is gonna replace it with something so much better than what you had before, right? Whatever that something is in your life that you struggle with, right? That you're holding on to, right? You gotta surrender it and give it up. God will give you so much more than what that was. And then later on, when he replaces what he wants from you than what you've been holding on to, then you're gonna say, "Man, I can't believe that I ever even desired that," right? Because of what I have now, right? So, let's go. This is taking a lot of time, but this is good. We got a lot of good things to say here. I'm not gonna be able to get through all this, but that's okay. Now go to Romans 12, 1 through 2. Everybody knows this verse. It's really easy. Should be able to memorize it. Whoever's got it, go ahead and read it.
Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, you offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed, by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good and pleasing and perfect will.
Thank you, Dan. Now, what do you think about when you think about offer your body up as a living sacrifice? What does that mean to you?
Well, our body's only with us when we're here, so we should offer it to him, and everything we do on earth should be for him, so that when we die and lose our body, our soul is now with him. So our body is sacrificed here in his name, so we can spend eternity with him.
Okay, so what does that look like? He's given you a body, so what should you do with that body? right, let's think about it. Let's think about your feet, your legs, right? Your structure here, all your body, your hands, your arms, your mind, your eye. There's a lot of parts in your body. From what you told me, what does that mean? With your whole being. What should you do? How would you offer that up as a living sacrifice? Your mind, what you think, your eyes, what you see, what you smell, right? What goes into your nose, your mouth, right? And your whole body. What does that mean? Your flesh. Man, when you get older, you start thinking about this. When you're younger, I didn't think about these things when I'm younger. But now that I'm all beaten down, right? And I'm in pain, right? And I live with pain and pain management and everything. What does that mean? Is it meaningful to take care of your body? What should you do with it? And your mind? I mean, think about this. How are you going to offer this up? What are you going to do?
You have to take care of it.
That's right, man, right? This is not our body. This is God's body that He gave us, right? Who do I think I am, right? To do whatever I want with this body that God gave me? God gave me this body. It ain't mine. It's God's, right? So that means I got to be careful what I'm thinking, right? I got to be thinking, I got to be careful what I'm looking at, because what I look at might go into my mind, right? Do I have the right to do everything that I want to do? To poison my body? It's not my body, right? It's His body. Do I have every right to do something that's going to destroy my body? Do I have the right to put poison inside of me to destroy it? Whether it's smoking or dipping or getting high or doing whatever I want with this body. It's not my body, but do I have the right?
You have the ability.
Right. But am I offering it up as a living sacrifice if I'm not taking care of it? It ain't mine. What does that mean? Offer your body as a living sacrifice. God gave me this body. Because what's inside of me is not going to live, I mean, this body is going to go into the dirt, right? How should I be taking care of this, right? I have to live inside of this thing. Man, if I would have got that a long time ago, I might not have been so messed up right now, right? I got nerve damage throughout my whole arm and my hand I got to live with, right? My mouth is wasted, right? My neck, my back, right? My knees. My whole body is wasted, right? If I could go back and I could talk to that 20-year-old, your age, and he's sitting right there. Hey, Nathan, take care of your body, right? Because, man, you're old now, right? I'm old now. The inside of me isn't, right? It ain't touched. But this body is, right? Nathan, don't do anything to harm yourself. Take care of your mind, your eyes, your body. Because in 30-something years, you're going to be talking to me, and I'm going to be listening to you, right? Because now, you're suffering. Because you didn't make the right moves, right? You didn't do the right things, right?
It's like that saying, just because I can,
Doesn't mean you
doesn't
should.
mean you should.
So think about that. That God gave you this body for you to offer it up as a living sacrifice to Him. It's His. Be careful what you think, what you see, what goes into your mouth, how we eat, right? What we're putting, are we putting any poison in us? that could kill us? Cause then we're polluting the Holy Spirit, right? It's gonna mess us up, right? Right? What am I doing? Think about that, because it says right here to offer your body as a living sacrifice. Holy, right, and pleasing to Him? Would that be holy and pleasing to Him if I'm doing something that's gonna kill me? Right? I mean, is that offering myself up as a living sacrifice? Or gluttony, right? Eating all the stuff that ain't good for me, and then I lay around, and then I'm like, oh, I don't feel good. Well, maybe because I ate 20 cupcakes, right? And I can't move right now, you know? Oh, it's the cupcake's fault. It ain't mine, you know what I mean? I just put them in my mouth, right? I mean, it affects us, what we're doing, right? And He's trying to tell us, right? Hey, dude, that's not right. It's not good, right? Okay. And so what else does it say? It says, if I do that, that's gonna be holy and pleasing to God. How I take care of what He has given me as a living sacrifice is gonna be holy and pleasing to Him if I do the right things. If I'm not taking care of my mind, my eyes, my skin, my body, what goes into me, is that gonna be holy and pleasing to Him? Right? It ain't gonna be holy and pleasing to Him. Because we have a holy God, a perfect God, right? And then it says right here, this is your spiritual act of worship. By taking care of ourselves and our bodies and what we're doing, that is an act of worship. We're worshiping the Lord by the way that we take care of ourselves. If we're not taking care of ourselves, are we really worshiping Him the right way, right? I mean, because we're supposed to present ourselves as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing, right? And then it says right here, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Conform. What does that mean? Don't conform to the pattern of the world. All these people are doing everything else out there, right? What does that mean, don't conform?
Don't follow in their footsteps, because us become a lot more acceptable to all those things that will hurt your body and poison you. So just don't follow that. Keep in mind that your body is your sacrifice to Him. So you want to keep it clean. Don't conform to what everyone else is doing just because they say or are doing it.
I think the emphasis in Isaiah, and I think the emphasis in here is they're living in a culture that values idols very, very highly. Both in the time Isaiah was writing here, God warned them, just all hell's gonna break loose here in a little while if you don't change. And Paul's doing the same thing with the Galatians because they're living in a culture that draws them from God. And guess what? I don't know if you sat through Pastor Keith's message this morning. We're living in a culture that's so similar to some of these as far as things that pull us away from the worship of God. So it's something that conforming to the culture means that we're gonna get pulled away. And I think Paul's very clearly warning us here. If you conform to the culture, you're gonna get pulled away. Be very, very careful on what you do in your culture.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of humans and a lot of people that are gonna want you to follow them. The way they dress, the way they act, what they're doing, da 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 da. And you gotta be careful, man, who you're following and what you're doing. Because if you follow the wrong crowd, you're gonna end up in a bad place, man. It says, do not conform, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Stay in this, the Word of God, and let it transform you, to change you from the inside out, right? So that you could know at the end, it says, so that you could be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good and pleasing and perfect will for your life. If you're following all these things that are gonna kill you, that are no good for you, they're gonna end up getting you, they're gonna end up destroying you, they're gonna harm you. But if you're renewing your mind and shutting all that stuff out of saying, I'm not gonna follow anybody but Christ, and I'm gonna be in his word and be around his people, and I'm gonna let him change the inside of me, then I'll know the difference of what is good and what is not good in my life. I'll be able to test it and approve it, what God's will is for my life. Because I'm doing the right thing. He's eliminating my path. I'm following the light so I know which way to go. Right? I'm gonna stay off that dark path that's gonna lead me into a ditch, right? Or that's gonna end up destroying me because I'm not enlightened. I'm not able to test and approve what's good because I'm on the wrong track. I'm not in the right place. So the more that we spend time into the light and that we're into the relationship that Jesus wants us to do, he's gonna transform us, he's gonna change us, he's gonna renew our minds, and we're gonna know what to do and what not to do. But if we don't, we're gonna be confused and we're not gonna know what to do, and it ain't gonna be good for us, man. So I'm over on time, but that was that. All right. Let's all pray real quick.
Get your knees moving.
I know, right? I'm gonna pray. I'll close this out. Oh, thank you, Jesus, for loving us. We don't deserve your grace. We don't deserve anything, but you still came to this earth and you died for us. And that you're alive and you're right beside us. Every second, every minute, every hour of the day, we have the best relationship in the world with you. And I just pray that we'll just fall in love with you and make you first in our life. And I pray that you'll transform all of us to make us more like you and help us know why you put us here. We're not here by accident, but you created us for your purpose. So help us know what that purpose is and to go out into this world and be the salt, to be the light, to be a difference maker, that somebody may see us and know us, and that they may know you by knowing us, so that you can receive the glory, honor, and praise from our lives. Be with us, Father, and help us love like you, help us forgive like you, and help us be like you, so that you can be glorified in our lives. Thank you so much for each and every person here. Thank you for their lives. Thank you for this family. And I pray for the people that couldn't make it today. Be with them and take care of them and watch over them. And I just pray that you'll receive the glory, honor, and praise from our lives. In Jesus' name, amen.
Hey, Jesse, we're gonna have our party here on the 8th. We're gonna bring pizza in and stuff. So,